quarantine to you all. Welcome to the obscure word of the day. You don't have to be stupid anymore. Today's word is Antidisestablishmentarianism. Isn't that a mouthful? Antidisestablishmentarianism is the longest non-technical word in the English language. I remember as a young lad, I still had a love of words and language, and when I found out that anti-disestablishmentarianism was the longest word, I thought that was a pretty cool thing. But I admit it was several years before I actually bothered to look up the definition of this word. And when I did, I actually still didn't quite understand it. So today we're going to break down a word and how to understand it as we define it. Now, I realize that this can seem pretty dry. I assure you, I am not one for dry intercourse. So we're going to do everything we can to lube this word up, to make it wet, to make it moist. Quiet up there. I find when I'm trying to wrap my head around a long, hard word, it's best to jump right in the middle and then move forward to the front, then move to the back, then front, then back. So let's plunge right into the middle. In the middle of anti-disestablishmentarianism, we see establishment. Now, I think we all know what that is, and I hope you're doing your part to fight against the establishment. Now, I'm not going to bog us down with a bunch of historical context, but the establishment in this particular case is about church and state being together in the 19th century. Now, if we ease our way to the front, we'll notice the prefix dis, as in dissolve, separate, spread. For you see, some people, they didn't like the idea of church and state being together, so they decided to spread them. So we have disestablishment. But let's move a little further forward. We have anti as our prefix. Now, some folks didn't like the idea of some people trying to separate church and state. Anti-disestablishment. Now, if we work our way back ever so gently, we will find ourselves with the suffix Aryan, not the scary German kind. It just means people who embody something, who believe in something, who adhere to a principle. Kind of think of it as vegetarian. I said vegetarian. I didn't. Alright, next. Let's go all the way back. Don't worry. Don't be shy. Just take it slow. You've got consent. Next, we've got the suffix ism. Ism. Now that just means denoting a state of being, an action, or practice. Ism's just a fancy way of turning something into an action noun. So let's walk through it slowly. Don't go too fast. People who are opposed to the dissolution of the joint of church and state. Now you might be saying to yourself, I met people who want church and state joined together. They don't strike me as the type who'd be looking up the English language's longest word or caring to understand the actual definition of it. Life's funny that way. Well, anti-disestablishmentarianism has been your word of the day. We'll see you tomorrow and every day of the quarantine for as long as I can.
Tim Stoss is a qualified wordman. Please don't dispense definitions unless you actually know them and their context.
That's the obscure word of the day, and you've just been learned.